right, Fede, how's it going?
Hi, Rash. It's going good.
You
How are
ready
you?
to battle to the death?
Yeah, I'm gonna win.
All right, so we're debating the following. So we're building subscriptions for uh, Hallie. So we're going with Hallie instead of Haley, because when you read it, most people say Hallie as opposed like Halle Berry. Um, So when you're talking, and it's going to take some time for me to get used to saying it that way because I've been saying Haley so long. So Hallie, you want to tell her like what you want to subscribe to, right? So I want to subscribe to HIPAA violations. I want to subscribe to PCI violations. I want to subscribe to SOX violations or GDPR violations. And so you do the subscription. Now, where do you manage it? Do you manage it on our dashboard, which is a pretty sweet dashboard, or do you manage it within Slack so you don't have to leave? So make your argument, Fede.
I think we should do both.
Okay.
Start.
Whoa, whoa,
So
whoa. That wasn't what you initially said. Why are you changing up on me
no,
now out of
because you
nowhere?
were one thing or the other. I think Slack is good, like to sending like notifications. I know, right? When someone sends a message with some violation, we can send a notification
Mm-hmm.
to whoever is subscribed to those. But then to have a nice dashboard to see, I don't know, different metrics or I don't know how many HIPAA violations each month or things like that, having some
Yeah.
graphics. It's cool to have a dashboard on a website, and you can do that on the app home from Slack.
Yeah, the problem with I mean, you make a good point. There's limited stuff we can do with App Home. So if you want to do like really cool data visualization, um,
Yeah,
yeah, shit, you already won the debate.
I already won. It's just not even 1 minute.
Oh, let me. I mean, you also changed up your stance. You said let's do it in both. So I'm not going to argue with you. You said let's do both. So, all right. So why I wanted to keep it in Slack because I've dealt with other Slack apps before, and I always hated clicking the button and then I had to log in. I had to select my workspace, and I have to go and give access to it. And since a lot of this is coming out of my pocket, if we start doing each user needs an Auth0 account, we're gonna run out of the eventually we'll run out of the
Yeah.
free tier, and then we'll start paying, and they're expensive. It's not cheap. So that was my argument. Also, well, here I'm gonna push back. Instead of nice, cool dashboards, you could just tell Hallie that whatever you want, and then she generates the images for you.
Yeah,
Natural
but that
language. It's hard.
yeah,
I
but
know it's
that's
harder, but
it's
I'm giving you
harder.
like the ideal
Yeah.
scenario is natural language. I don't have to log into some external dashboard. I can just ask for what I want to see.
Yeah, but you have to go and ask. The other way is just go to our website and it's there.
Yeah. Well, if Hallie is dynamic enough, she'll already know what you're looking for and be like, boom, I already read
She
your
will read
mind.
your mind. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to wear like a helmet and read your brain scans. All right. So if we do both, so how would you implement subscriptions?
mm, if we have like define things like PHI, PII, different things, we could do that from the app home
Mm-hmm.
if we want. So some, I don't know, checkboxes or things like that, and the things you want to subscribe. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way.
So you would have like some default ones that are like, oh, click, you're subscribed, and then maybe custom ones.
Yeah, I guess the default is like you're not subscribed to anything because if I'm just a Slack user, I don't mind if someone sends a PHI message. But if
Mm,
I'm the admin or I don't know, someone who cares about that, I can go to the app home and say, okay,
yeah.
if someone sends a message on a public channel, uh, send me a notification.
Okay, and then you can easily unsubscribe by just clicking the button. Yeah,
Yeah,
or
something like that.
So in App Home, can you do text fields where I can enter in my own?
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay. Okay.
You can even like open modals. I think the best example is the Google Calendar. It has a lot of things, but it's slow. So you
Let me
click
check it
on
out.
create an event. It has like open a modal, and it will like load some things.
So let's look at it. Google Calendar. I have Google Drive. Let me share. Window. Okay. So this is what, do you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So this is Google Drive, right? Notifications you can turn off here, previews. So yeah, this is nice. Like you can control, but how often do you go to like a app's homepage? Like here I go here a lot because I have to get to her at the click, which I would actually have messages be the default. Maybe that's a feature request I can do to Slack. Is just have messages be, or I should be able to set it right in our manifest file. So
we had the same issue with Teams. Do you remember? And we couldn't like move the tabs and select the default one.
Yeah. Oh, Microsoft Teams, such a joy. Hi, if you're we have a lot of friends from Microsoft, so love you guys. So yeah, all right. So all right. So in here we put the maybe a subscriptions header, and then some default ones. Do we maybe for the admin we turn them on by default, right?
Yeah.
Like they should they can turn it off if they want to. And then when we send that information, we also have like a thing that says you want to unsubscribe, right? Nobody wants to be spam, so an unsubscribe button. And then anyone that's interested, they would see some unchecked boxes, like the default ones, HIPAA, PCI, whatever compliances, and then a text box for custom ones. Like if I want to, there's a certain project that people are working on, and I want to know about what people are saying about that project, that I should be able to get.
Oh, you mean like keywords? Okay.
Keywords, it says embedding, so things that are close to it, right?
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I think that I don't know. I would use it because I mean we're a small group, so I see all the messages. I don't know, but when you're in a big group, when we're like a teledoc, there's messages everywhere, and it'd be cool if you could subscribe. They do have you can do it in Slack now about keywords, but now we're taking it further with embeddings.
I think now that I'm trying to like redact the messages before we embed them, it'd be nice like if right away we detect that it has some PHI information, we send like a private message to that user saying, okay, hey, this message contains private information.
Yeah.
I think that's
well, yeah. You send them the redacted message, right? Hey, you posted this. Then
I can send like just a link. We are not storing anything, just the link to the message he sent.
Yeah, link is good. If you can provide a button for them to delete, right?
That's probably an extra scope, but yeah, because we need to delete the messages.
Okay, which is fine. I haven't heard back from. I mean, I submitted the app a while ago. I'm still waiting for them to approve it. But we can add that extra scope because you get the message. Don't make me just let me delete it right then and there, or yeah, you want to delete it. So I mean, I was looking at our some of our competition, and they have that exactly. But we'll have what I didn't see, which maybe they do have, but I didn't see it in any of the research I was doing, was the ability for them to, which is what we're going to do, is not only are you told here's the message that violates it, and then here's the regulation, and it'll be a very friendly message from Hallie, and then it'll say, hey, message me if you want to talk about it. So you can start message me in this thread and we can talk about it, like best practices, whatever. So you get like this training, it's nice and no one needs to hear about it, right? Like you're not shamed. This was like a pain point that I had at Teladoc, seeing people do, non-compliant messages, and then I have to be the bad guy and be like, hey, it's not your fault, although you did get HIPAA training and you should know better. But yeah, just don't do it next time. So I think that would be a seller. And then we'll keep, and this tech is way better than what our competitors have, because they're very focused on just like auditing, right? But we take it further, right? We're doing subscriptions for anything. So that's pretty cool. Maybe we should, I will research some Slack apps to see who has like the subscription things, right? And see how big is that market for a Slack app that does subscriptions. All right, so you're frozen.
Hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. You closed your eyes and went to sleep.
You can see me?
You're back. It's a little blurry now. We need to get you upgrade your, oh man,
I need to upgrade my country.
Yeah, better internet. We need to get you a better camera. I think your mic on your headset's fine, but in the video that we had, like, the complaint was it was too low volume.
Yeah, because I didn't wear this. I just put this like right here.
Yeah.
So it didn't.
Yeah, you should have just had them on. It's fine to have your headset on when you're presenting. I mean, they do it for podcasts all the time, right? So, yeah, see if you can get a nice camera so you can, like, the one I have is pretty expensive. Like, everybody actually comments like, "Oh, the video quality you have is awesome."
Yeah.
It's
this one is not that bad. But I will need to like buy some like light ring. Is that what they call it? Yeah. Yeah, something like that to have good lighting.
Yeah, and they're cheap. It's like $15 for those things. And then what else would I recommend? Oh, and then I don't know if you can position your table somewhere and then try to make it look like
I will move
I bike all the time. Like I read books.
Yeah,
it's all lies.
Like my guitar, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got the cool pictures that your friend did with the, but you can't even tell what they are from the video. All right, so let's do a mini stand up. So pitching tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be like for a small amount. I almost don't even want to take small amounts, just like $100,000 checks or higher. Just because if I have to collect like a bunch of $10,000 checks, not only do I have to manage these people, that money doesn't last that long. Like it's overhead, right? The more individual investors. So we'll see. At a minimum, I can get some good feedback. And then in January, I'm pitching who I told you in Slack. So excited about that. I won't say who it is. And then I have a VC firm I'm talking to next week also. And there I'm gonna maybe briefly talk about Hallie and Easy Audit, but I'm gonna pitch the big thing, right, that we talked about.
Yeah.
The long-term plan, because that one is like that one needs money. That one needs a lot of money to implement. So like what we have now, even if me, you're just went and got jobs, we have a lot of it already. We have the base, right? Like we just need to add a few things, and we have something that's really competitive with in the competition, and then we can just like all trickle in. But for that other thing, like that's like head down, working nonstop for a long time, and it's risky. And I think because they give limitations for NSF for how many like grants you go for after. So we would have to wait for phase 2 if we get phase 2 to end, and that would be that's why I said it's a 3-year plan. You can't just keep collecting NSF checks and spinning up new projects if you're the main PI. So, is that your ride?
Yeah.
You need to go. All right. So, what's the? We were talking about Mortal Kombat, and that was the game you played. I played a lot of Street Fighter. Who was your character in Mortal Kombat?
It depends on which Mortal Kombat. I think the one that I played the most was, how was the name? I don't know if it was Mortal Kombat 3 or it was Ultimate, Mortal Kombat Ultimate or something like that.
I don't
It
think
was
I played those.
on the Sega. Yeah. I like Liu Kang a lot and Raiden. Raiden is.
So yeah, I used to go to, so there was a my parents had 2 liquor stores. So my dad had one in Burbank on Burbank Boulevard. And he'd have like celebrities and stuff come in and he'd tell us like, oh, so and so came in and whatnot. He was like, oh, that guy was a dick. That guy was cool. Like, giving me stuff. The funniest story, and this is my poor dad. He went to the bathroom, right? And then when he came back, someone took a dump on his counter.
No.
And then I was just picturing him having to clean it up. The imagery was just so funny in my head. He had to go through a lot of shit.
Literally.
Literally. I didn't think, pun intended. So literally he had to go through a lot of shit working at and getting robbed at gunpoint, people stealing stuff. He had one kid, these kids don't know any better, or maybe they weren't raised right, but they would steal candy, right? My dad fucking sees it, right?
Yeah.
So but when that kid got older, my dad, for that one guy, raised his rates for everything. So he got like the stealing tax. So he paid for it in the long term. Everything was just like 10% more expensive for that one guy. So yeah, he had to pay for childhood sins. So my parents had my dad was very entrepreneurial. I think that's where I get my entrepreneurial stuff is through my dad. And so he had started the liquor store. He came here, he started working at 7-Eleven, making like $1 something an hour, right? And then he got a loan from my granduncle, his uncle, right, to start the business. So, which then he like paid back. And then my dad was making like good money for back then. I don't remember the exact number, but enough to feed the family, buy a car, buy a house and stuff. Just from one liquor store. And so from there, he like expanded to a second liquor store. And I'm a kid. The kids would come in and help. Like, I hated it. I fucking hated it. Coming in there, I had to do front facing of all the stuff, right? Stocking, throwing away the boxes. I hated that. Like, we had a shopping cart that we had the boxes in. I'd cart it out in the back, and I had a box cutter, cut the boxes, throw it in. And I'm like, I'm not getting paid for this shit. Like, but
you're getting paid. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was very anti-work as a kid. This childhood labor, like this should be against the law, right? So my mom would open the liquor store at like 8:00. My dad would come in at like noonish, right? And he'd bring like lunch for my mom. And my dad would work from like 12 to 11. So like he's doing every single day, 12 to 11. The store never closed on no holidays, no nothing. It was always open. And then my mom, who went to the liquor store at 8:00, got home at 12 or 12:30. We were like 20 minutes away. Then she would get ready for her nursing job. And so then she'd go. So she was working 2 jobs, right? Like doing the liquor store in the morning and then working her afternoon night shift. And every day, that was every day, right? So like it wasn't like there was no days off. She would take some days off from like nursing, so she'd have some days off there. But every day you had to come to the liquor store and you had to work, right? And so then my dad expanded to another liquor store in what's the town called? It was like up Balboa. I mean, you wouldn't know. In the valley, we opened up another liquor store in the valley, and there was a 7-Eleven nearby, and so I would go there. They had Street Fighter, right?
Oh,
So get some quarters, and just play Street Fighter there, which, I have pretty bad memories. Like, I don't remember,
yeah.
I don't remember what I ate yesterday, right? Like, it's gone. But I do have, like, fond memories of like going to the 7-Eleven, playing Street Fighter, and I think even for a time we had some arcades at the liquor store, and I'd play there. My uncle also had a liquor store, and he was in Burbank also. So my dad was on Burbank Boulevard, and about a mile away was my uncle's liquor store on Magnolia, and he had arcades. So I always like to go there and like play whatever cool arcades that he had.
So your favorite one was Street Fighter?
Yeah, that's the one like I remember. I'm trying to think of other games.
Have you played like Daytona?
Oh, like the racing?
Yeah.
I think I have, yeah. And it's
I love that one.
Yeah. So those are all like fond memories. What about you? What's your favorite arcade?
I love. There was this one that was called House of the Dead. Do you remember the one you had the gun? Yeah, you have to reload doing this. Yeah, I love that one. I think I was never able to win it, but
did you know that Alice is a gun nut?
Oh yeah.
She has 3 guns. She has a Beretta. She has a small rifle, and then she has a Glock.
Okay, I won't argue with her from now on.
Yeah. We went to a shooting range once. It was pretty fun.
Oh, nice.
She's pretty good. But I was like, I was holding it wrong. I think you're supposed to hold it like this. Oh no, you're supposed to hold it like this. The hand's supposed to wrap around this one. But then I was doing what I've seen on TV, right?
In movies. Yeah, I would do the same. Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck that, gangster, So, yeah, shooting guns is fun. Although I'm kind of we have such crazy shootings in America that you have to do something. If you're not going to fix the mental illness that's causing it, you got to get rid of the guns, right? So, or both. Do both. Get rid of the mental illness and get rid of the guns. Just, I think it's okay to have like a single shotgun. Like, you should shoot once, reload, right? But if you can just have a fully automatic gun that can do like 30 rounds in a matter of seconds, that's not for hunting. That's not, that's like war, right? Like, you're trying to take out a bunch of people. It's not self-defense. So that's where I stand on guns.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Fede, you won this debate. I'm gonna lick my chops with my tail between my legs. But to be honest, you went.
I changed everything.
You changed everything, so you screwed me over. I was like, I'm gonna fucking destroy Fede, and then you're like, plot twist. All right. Let's. We don't need to. We can do stand up in Slack, and then. Did you want to join the Slack private feature that we're working? We can't talk about it, but do you want to join that meeting?
You can share the invite. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but
it's 9 a.m. PST, and then it's gonna be in our workspace, so we can start using it.
Okay. Yeah, send me the invite.
Okay, we'll do. All right. Catch you later.
Thanks, Rush.